The story starts with some military men spying on a car zooming across the desert. They are after something that the driver possesses. They chase after the men on their motorcycles and ultimately stop in. But the case they were desperately peeking for is empty. A flashback shows us that the men had established a rare black crystal in the desert. He knew bad people were after it, so he put it inside his water bottle and concealed it somewhere in the sand. The leader of the group is furious, but even the men cannot tell for sure where he buried the valuables. Additional that, we are introduced to the protagonist of the movie, Chang Tianqi. He is a 22-year-old high schooler who has recounted the same class thrice after failing 3 times for the past successive years. Tianqi is known as the most familiar face of the school, as no teacher has been in the school as long as him. His adequately friend Shangfei is also the same, but has one up on Tianqi since he has only failed twice. The duo is the certified loser among its classmates. In one of the classes, Tianqi dozes off and falls off his seat. Everyone laughs as the lecturer calls him an invertebrate before punishing him. He is repeatedly looked down upon and bullied by his classmates, but he still has hope that one day he will pass the university exam. The source of his motivation is one of his sweet classmates called Zion. She gives him candy each day, motivating him to do better. She is also one of the few who doesn't laugh at the jokes made about him. Because of her nature, many guys are in love with her, including Tianqi's hugest bully Liu. He is good at studies and sports, which makes him think that he is better than everyone else, particularly Tianqi. He makes advances at Zion every chance he gets, but she is not in the least enthusiastic in him. Moreover, she appears to only hand the candy to Tianqi and Shangfei, which makes him furious. He takes out his frustration by bullying Tianqi, calling him an orphan, and urging him to close the books even though he is surveying. Shangfei comes to his friend's aid, pulling him away before things escalate. At night, Tianqi returns to an empty residence, and we find out that he has no family. He lives on government welfare programs, which makes his life even additional difficult. He studies till midnight, determined to pass the exam this time, but the thought of failure doesn't leave his head. Subsequently that, he goes to a nearby desert to collect garbage and sell them for some extra money. To his luck, he discovers the hidden water bottle with the crystal inside of it. On his way back residence, he bumps into Liu and Zion. Liu makes fun of him as always and shakes the garbage bag. When the bottle falls down, Zion picks it up to return it to Tianqi. At this eternity, a surveillance camera catches her face with the water bottle. Somewhere else, a military group that had been looking for the bottle watches the footage and targets Liu and Zion, who are the only ones visible. Back at residence, Tianqi opens the bottle and finds the rare black crystal inside. He doesn't think much of it and goes to sleep after keeping the bottle by his bed. Undisclosed to him, the crystal is working its magic and giving him special powers that he is not ready for. The following morning, a group of thugs is bothering Zion. On their way to school, Tianqi and Shangfei see this. Shangfei wants to run away, but Tianqi cannot leave her alone with the thugs. He stops the gang from harassing her, but is in turn beaten up by them. They break his notebooks and forcefully make him eat one of the pages. By the time they get done, Tianqi's face is covered in cuts and bruises. At college, the teacher is informed about the fight, but instead of taking action against the thugs, he puts the blame on Tianqi for causing difficulty. Zion and Shangfei take Tianqi's side, but the teacher just dismisses the matter and asks them to forget about it as well. More difficulties add up when Tianqi walks into the class and is hit by a duster to his face. Liu is mad at him for skipping his whiteboard rubbing duties. To his irritation, Zion takes a stand for Tianqi and cleans the board on his behalf. During a lecture, Tianqi accidentally drops his phone to the floor, frightening everyone. Fed up by his attitude, the teacher asks him to come to the front and solve an algebra problem. To Tianqi's shock, he seems to understand the problem. He efficiently solves it in front of the class and surprises everyone. Liu tries to undermine his brightness by saying that the method he used is wrong, but the teacher claims it is just a bit complex. Unexpectedly, Tianqi remembers that the paper he was made to eat in the morning consisted of similar mathematical problems. He puts two and two jointly and figures out he might have gained a superpower of memorization when he eats a paper with some form of information on it. After college, he tells Shangfei everything about the revelation, but Shangfei doesn't believe him. Rather, he thinks that Tianqi must have studied the problem and forgotten about it. Still, to test if he is saying the truth, he makes Tianqi eat a paper with all the fighting techniques that he has been learning in the karate class. On his way back home, Tianqi again encounters the thugs from the sunrise. The leader is the comb man who fixes his hair before and after each fight. He challenges Tianqi to stand contrary them, unaware that Tianqi knows everything about fighting like Bruce Lee. The fight ends in only a moment as Tianqi defeats all of them with his outstanding techniques. The comb man vows to never mess with him again. The following day in class, Liu throws a duster at him again, but this time, Tianqi catches it without even looking. Shangfei eventually believes that he might have superpowers. This gives him an outstanding idea. Their school's basketball team is going contrary to their nemesis school's team. Hence, he makes Tianqi eat pages from a book about basketball tips and tricks. In the twilight, the match is about to start, but since Liu is the team's captain, he refuses to take Tianqi in. Shangfei begs him, arguing that he is a great player, but Liu would rather give up his position than let Tianqi play with. Then, further, Tianqi is old and no one has a shoe his size that he can borrow. The match starts, and their team begins losing instantly. Against the hulks of the opponent's school, they are proven to be weak. By the end of the first half, they haven't scored a single basket and are losing by 26 points. During halftime, Zion brings Tianqi a pair of shoes from her brother, who has the similar shoe size as him. Liu is mad that no one in the team played well. He disrespects his teammates, which in turn causes an internal fight. As punishment for Liu, the teacher replaces him with Tianqi. Initially, Liu doesn't mind because they are mistaking the game anyway. But then, Tianqi starts scoring one basket after another, shocking everyone. As time permits, he catches up to the opponent's score and gives them a tough time. Liu makes his adequately friend play badly, so the team won't win the match and Tianqi won't get the credit he hopes. But Tianqi organizes to score a difficult basket and impresses everyone even more. After the match, he is the chat of the school. Meanwhile, Liu, who is used to being the best in everything, is angry that someone like Tianqi is coming for his throne. His companion reveals that he heard Tianqi and Shangfei talk about something strange that includes papers. The duo understands something is wrong and decides to look into the matter. The attending day, Tianqi returns the shoes to Zion, thanking her for always being there for him. She had always believed in him even when he was considered a loser. Now that he is one of the outstanding ones, Tianqi thinks he owes his success to her. They walk home jointly and begin dating starting that day. In the attending scene, we see them hanging out by the sea, singing together, and falling in love with each other. A jealous Liu mixes laxative in a drink and hands it to a girl to deliver it to Tianqi. He wants to humiliate him in front of Zion, but the plan fails when the girl hands the drink to the teacher rather. The teacher does few questionable things during the lecture that day, but the students almost laugh it off. As days pass, Tianqi eats more papers rather of studying. But he soon discovers that the paper memory is taking up space in his head, and he is beginning to forget events that transpire in real life. If he proceeds using the power of the magical crystal, he might one day forget who he is. Nonetheless, he is scared that if he returns back to being the loser, Zion might not want to be with him anymore. That afternoon, the leader of the men who are looking for the crystal discovers the comb men. He threatens the group to tell him where Liu and Zion are. Subsequently school, Liu insists on walking Zion home even though she refuses repeatedly. Unexpectedly, someone attacks them from behind and takes them to the gang's hideout. They are asked about the crystal, which they, of course, know nothing about. But as the men explain to them what the crystal is, Liu understands that Tianchi must have it. He tells them about him and gives them his phone number. Someplace else, Tianchi tells Shangfei about the memory problems he has been facing recently. He reveals he doesn't want to use the crystal's power anymore. Shangfei is frustrated because he has grown to like the new Tianchi, but he understands his determination. Just then, they get a call from the kidnappers, who threaten Tianchi to come to the hideout with the crystal if he wants his friends alive. Tianchi realizes that even after he hands them what they want, it is likely they will not spare the group. Hence, he eats a bunch of papers with several fighting skills to teach the gang a lesson. Before evacuating, he also hands Shangfei a purple gift box to give to Zion if he doesn't return from the mission. In the attending scene, he walks into the hideout at gunpoint and hands them the bottle. But the leader is furious to discover it empty. He fires at Liu and Zion to retaliate as Tianchi begs him to let them go. Liu panics and begins running, causing a shootout. He gets shot in the leg and hides behind a bunch of boxes with Zion. The antagonist organizes to get to Zion and holds her hostage against Tianchi. Tianchi, in turn, attacks him with a knife, but after a bit of battle, he is stabbed in the abdomen. The leader has exact control over the situation when the screen goes blank. A few days later, Liu is in the classroom bragging to his classmates about how he saved the day like a hero even though he was shot. Around else, Shangfei gives Zion the gift box that he was given by Tianchi. It comprises of the towel she used to help Tianchi during the basketball match, the candy wrapper, and several little things that he saved from their time jointly. Just when we think he didn't make it out alive, Tianchi appears in front of the two. A flashback shows us that even when he was harshly injured, he took out the knife from his abdomen and assassinated the leader. In the last scene, Tianchi and Zion hug before the trio strolls away while engaging in a cheerful discussion. And the end. If you are a lover of similar content like this, take a look at my various videos, and if you love it, please burst the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash the notification horn. Take sight of you in the next video.